Hi, everyone. Welcome to Single and the Coach. I am Coach Ty, and
I am the single.
we are here every other weekend to talk about dating, relationship, and decoding everything relationship wise and just navigating these dating streets in 2020. Thank you for joining us on another episode. Today's topic, we are going to talk about singles events. Are they effective? The pros and cons, why men aren't attending them. And if you've ever attended any, you've probably seen a lot more women and not enough men. We want to get to the bottom of those. Before we do, Bree, you attended a singles event this weekend?
Yeah, Friday,
It was
yes.
Friday. All right. So I want to hear all about it. I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us about it. Set the scene. Tell us everything. We got nothing but time. Get your popcorn, get your drinks. Come on, tell us.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I came across the event on Facebook. Game Set Match. That's the name of it. And I thought it would be really cool to get outside of my comfort zone. I've never been to a singles event. I felt a little froggy and I was like, I'm going to jump. This event took place Friday and the time was perfect, 7:00 p.m. It was outside of Atlanta. So with me being in Atlanta, it wasn't that far of a drive. I was actually familiar with once I got there, I was greeted by the person at the door. As you go into this theater, there's two sides. They give you a green flag and a red flag. As I walked in, it was probably maybe 75 people in there. There's an open stage, nice sofa, and then they have 3 chairs behind the sofa for the contestants. You would go up, walk up the stairs, and sit down. It was packed. As I'm going up the stairs, I'm already looking around at the people, right? And I noticed everybody had on name tags except for me. The name tags had 2 different colors. Green was if you were interested in participating in the speed dating, and yellow was I'm just observing. You sit down, and what they would do is they would have you either selected by an app, or if someone was up there and you were interested in them, you would submit their name and your name. They had this, I think it was a guy, and the guy had to select 3 contestants. So they would say something like, look in the crowd, is there anyone that you're interested in? He had the opportunity to select 3 people. The host would use the app. They would select the name of someone who said that they were interested in the guy. And then it got very interesting because each contestant had about 3 minutes to have a conversation on the sofa with the guy. And if he said something that you thought was a green flag, you waved the green flag. If you thought it was something that was red flag applicable, you rate the red flag. They would take questions from the audience. They had a bowl that also had questions in case you guys ran out of things to ask each other, or you could just go off the fly and he could ask her questions. They were asking a lot of the standard questions like, so what do you do for work? What do you like to do when you're not working? One guy, I think he was being a douche. The lady said that she drives manual shift cars. And he was like, oh, you know how to drive stick shift? She was like, yeah. He was like, well, why don't you show me? I want you to sit right here and show me. At the end of him going through all 3 women, what would happen then is the women would stand up in the back and they would have a paddle. On one side was yellow, it said no match. And on the other side, it was green and it said match. And so what they would do is they would count down and they say, ready, set, match. And the women would flip the paddle on whether they were interested or not, but the guy could not see it. Once we knew, okay, who's interested in him and who's not, then it was the guy's time. So they would say, ready, set, match. And he would have to say the contestant's name. And a lot of the times it wasn't a match, but it was kind of like, we in the audience kind of already knew it wasn't going to be a match based on the questions and the chemistry. And so they would take turns. It would have a male down as the primary person with 3 female contestants, and then they would have a female down with 3 male contestants. What I also didn't really care for was that a lot of the people were a younger crowd, early to mid 20s up to like early to mid 30s. So it was interesting. They'd have like little breaks and you get up and you dance and you look around to see if there's somebody you're interested in. And then at the very end, they had like a speed round where you would have to find someone in the audience and ask them if they want to come down on the stage with you. And then once they had like the stage full of contestants, they would ask 10 questions and everybody would either hold up your red flag or your green flag that's on the stage. And it would help you see whether you are compatible with the person. And then the last question was, would you like to see this person again outside of this event? And it was embarrassing because one person would have the green flag and the other person had a red flag. And it's like right there in your face in front of everybody. So would I go to it again? More than likely I wouldn't. The tickets were like $35. Just like, well, I spent $35 for a social experiment. But overall, I mean, it was cool. It was different. But yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay, I have some questions. What
Yes.
was the ratio between men and women?
Oh my God, it was like 75% women, 25% men. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said the age were skewed a lot. Yeah. So there was like no like 40-year-olds, late 30s.
No. At least not the ones that went on the stage. The oldest that went on the stage was like 33.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it sounds fun. I'll tell you that. Like from what you said, it sounds fun. Definitely sounds like a young person's, like there's a lot of it sounded like there was a lot of energy going on. Yes. There was a lot of it sounds like there was a lot of what do you call it, directions and do this, do that.
Yeah.
So that's good, you know, when you have energy and stuff. Did they sell drinks or anything? Were there any?
So they did sell drinks. There was a bar, but it was downstairs and down.
Okay. How about the space? Was the space nice?
The space was nice. The parking was good. It was in the back, so it wasn't hard to find parking. It was free parking, so you didn't have to worry about paying.
Nice. Especially in Atlanta. I hear like every time you go in Atlanta, paying for parking.
Honey.
Okay. So did you go up?
No.
I know. I just wanted.
Like, it was just okay. And then the thing was too, like, it wasn't really a good mixture of races. So it was more Caucasian men than African American men, and so a lot of
the Black girls.
It was a lot of Black girls, but it just made me feel like I couldn't relate because of the music choices, like the movie choices that they were asking, like, oh, what's your top 5 movies that you watched this year so far, and the stuff they were naming, I was like, what the hell is that? The music, like, oh, what was your 2025 Wrapped top 3 song on 3 artists? And I'm like, I'm like, oh, I would be highly embarrassed. Like, it wasn't your typical questions, but it was just like, it was a mixture of not typical and then like standard, you know. Like one lady was talking about her dog and the guy was like, I feel like your dog is getting more love than I am right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is definitely a lot of what I've been hearing, especially online, the discourse about singles events. Are they worth it? Should people be going? And like I mentioned, why aren't men? Because you mentioned too, the one you went to, there was predominantly more women there. So we're going to go into a video. This content creator talked about what he thinks about singles events. So we'll watch it and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Yes.
These are humiliation rituals, and I don't think men or women should be going to those. And after watching that video of that woman talking about the church singles events and how come no men were there, well, let's have this conversation one more time. Life in general is a dating event. You can go anywhere and meet a woman or man, depending on however you identify. Coffee shop, nightclub, day party, grocery store, any event that doesn't have to center around dating is a dating event. I couldn't imagine putting myself in a position to get rejected multiple times, numerous times over the course of 2-3 hours. And I don't know why other people want to do that as well. Rejection is already a natural part of life. I don't understand why we're putting ourselves in positions to get rejected 5, 10, 20 times in one sitting. Dating is supposed to be very natural, in my opinion. Banter, flirting, a connection, somebody looking at you across the bar, y'all hold eye contact, and I put myself in proximity to said woman, and we naturally have conversation. Not name tag, sit down, go, do I fuck with you? Nah, I don't. Women already dominate events. So what do you think is gonna happen when you put yourself in a position to go to an event that's centered around singles? You're gonna have 95% women there. My best piece of advice for anybody looking for love: get in the fucking field. The last thing on your mind should be going to a curated dating event, because out of 10 people, I bet you $100,000, 9 of them will be women.
Okay. So, I'll give my thoughts first. Okay, so I have like a 50-50. I definitely agree with 50% of what he said. I love that he said life is a dating event. Absolutely. It is a dating event. You can meet anyone anywhere. So yes, when you're out there, when you're in the bar, at the bars, at events that are not skewed and geared towards dating, you should be meeting people, talking to people, catching someone's eye. Completely agree with that. Rejection is a part of life. So you can get rejected at singles events, you can get rejected at the bar. So it is a part of life, but I do get that singles events, there's like multiple people in one event. Rejecting you can be a little like, I don't need this in my life, right? So I get that. I think, again, it goes to say, we've said it before, men don't really come out for these events. Women naturally are predominantly dominate these spaces. So any event that you go to, you are going to find more women. You just are. So yes, agree with him, get in the field. But let me say this, as someone who coordinates singles events, I have, one of the struggles that I have is finding men to attend these events. And, you know, I get it for various reasons, a lot of what he says. But I will say this, I went to this event maybe this week, and it was a networking and dating event. So much like what you were saying, instead of like flags or like name tags, they gave you bracelets. Red one was for I'm open to date, come holla at me. And a yellow bracelet was like, I'm just here to network, right? So that right there is giving you two options. So it's not only that you need to go there for dating itself, but you get the option of networking, so to ease off of that, what may feel a little bit like pressure, right? But the thing that I realized at this event, men and women alike were either single but opting to wear the yellow bracelet because they didn't want to look or feel desperate, or they would have the bracelet but they would tuck it in because they don't want anybody to see it. So I am always boggled by the fact that the men there too, when I talk to them, they're like, oh yeah, I am single and yeah, I am open, but you have a yellow bracelet on. And so the men themselves and the women were doing the same thing too. So my thing is, if you do go to these events, because some people go to these events because depending on their lifestyle, right? So if you're someone who works a lot, but you don't really go out, and you're not at the club all the time, or you're just not meeting someone as in the field and organically because of whatever reason, events like that could be a good fun thing to do. I always say grab a friend to go. Don't go by yourself. Just go with a friend. Make it a night out. And there's nothing wrong with singles events and this like everyone's too cool for school, you know, like that event I was telling you about, wearing a yellow bracelet only because you don't want to look desperate, but it also does both. So like, why don't you just be honest? But like, you really are looking for someone, but you're just like, you don't want to look desperate. If you're going to events that are single events, that doesn't mean that you're desperate. It just means that you're an intentional dater. You're saying, yes, I can meet people out in the field, but I've been doing that. I'm still single. And there's an event that really is specific and geared towards this thing that I actually want. So I'm going to be intentional and go to that and see what happens. You don't always, that first event is not going to be the event that you meet your person. It might not be. You might need to go to 1 or 2 or 3, or after 3, you're like, I'm good with those events, but I wouldn't say completely write it off, because you at least know when you go, hopefully not everybody, everyone's intentions are not always great, but for the most part, you know, if you go to these events, you're going to meet someone who is as intentional as you are, right? As opposed to the bar or any other event, it's at the forefront, so you don't know, you just kind of have to take it for what it is, right? So I like these events because they're intentional. I understand why men don't like going, but I would say, again, with two men, when you're going to these events, intentionality is what's at the forefront. So you know that you're gonna go there, you're gonna meet a woman who's honestly looking for something serious. Now, if you're not looking for anything serious, yes, I do agree. You probably shouldn't go. And you can probably meet, somebody casually out. But like, if you're at a point where you're like, hey, I want to be a little bit more intentional about it, there's nothing like desperate about being intentional. I always say dating intentionally is not desperate. Settling is desperate. I'm just gonna pick whoever, whenever, because I'm bored or I'm trying to get out. That is desperate. So, but I don't know what else to get men out. I just feel like it may take the hunt out. It may add some added pressure to them. It may not feel organic to be told to sit and talk to someone, but I don't know that anyone has any other great ideas of how to meet people out in the wild. Another reason why singles events is helpful for intentional daters is a lot of women that I speak to and consult, they'll tell me they go out to non-singles events just at the bar looking cute, and men will not approach them. So we talk about rejection. Men don't want rejection at singles events, apparently, and they don't want, they're just not approaching them. And so why not go to singles events where you're like, okay, at least I get the opportunity to have a conversation with someone, with a guy, because when I'm at a bar and I'm just chilling or I'm at an event, we see, and I've noticed it myself, I'll see a nice event, not a dating event, just a regular nice event. You'll see a cluster of guys in the corner just talking to each other. And then the women are in the other corner and they just don't want to talk to the women. And I don't get what's going on there, but those are the reasons why singles events and that, like, put yourself out there and like make it intentional for you to talk to someone and give you that, although 3 minutes, 5 minutes is absolutely not enough time. But if you've ever gone to a speed dating event, or if you've ever just talked to someone at the bar, in about 5 minutes, you kind of know whether or not you want to keep talking to this person, right? So, and when you go to speed dating, they're like, okay, keep that person's name. Like, oh, I did speak to that person like for 5 minutes, but I was interested and I want to get to know more. Speed dating events, they follow up with you when you say, yeah, Bree was my type. I definitely want to talk more. And then you can exchange information through the event coordinators. So it's not just you meet somebody 3 minutes and then you're supposed to forget about them. You're supposed to at least say who within those X amount of time you want to keep talking to. The conversation doesn't stop after that. So I just want to, for those who've never attended the speed dating event, you get a follow-up. But the idea is in 3 minutes, if I'm still thinking about this person or I still vibe with this person, I want to talk to this person again. Or in 3 minutes, if these 3 minutes felt painful and I never want to talk to this guy again, then that's great. That's someone that you can like eliminate quickly. So those are my thoughts. Now, what are your thoughts about this, Bree?
Ooh, all right. Girl. Listen, I was making notes, honey.
All right.
So my thoughts as far as attending dating events and versus just finding someone organically, even though my experience with this event wasn't like, oh, I want to do it again. I would do it again. And I would do it again simply because I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed, and I think it removed a lot of pressure from me in not knowing what to expect. So if I was to compare meeting someone organically versus the dating events, as the man mentioned, one thing that I would say when you are looking the normal, authentic way by going out somewhere is it removes the pressure of having to meet somebody, right? Because, for example, I like to go to the sports bars and grab a drink, grab something to eat, listen, watch TV, socialize with the people around me. This is something that I enjoy doing by myself anyways. So there's no pressure to meet somebody when I go out. There's no high fear of, oh my God, I'm going to be rejected. What if I'm not their type? That's not there when I'm just doing what I choose to do or what I like to do anyways. It's just a +1 or a perk if I do meet somebody when I'm out. I think that also when you do go out into different environments, you have to step outside of your norm, step outside of your box. Like a lot of people complain about not meeting someone when they go out, but you're going to the exact same places. Stop going to the exact same places. And if you do go to the exact same place because this is where you're comfortable, go on a different day of the week. Don't wait until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Go on a Monday. Go on a Tuesday, switch it up a little bit because I'm sure you're going to start to come across a whole different set of people. That was something that I learned. I did not know that those men of a certain caliber go out typically on like a Tuesday or Wednesday because they're usually swamped with things to do either out of the state or they have time with their kids on the weekends. So they're not out here in these streets on the weekends. But on a Wednesday, they're usually, you can find them in a cigar bar or wherever. The other thing too, when it comes to meeting someone organically, is you have to make yourself approachable. And even Ty has just said this. You have to open up. Like, you can't complain that nobody ever approaches you, but you over here like, who's gonna approach you? Nobody's gonna approach you. No. And if they do, it's somebody that you don't want to approach you. Don't go with a group of people. A group of people at a bar surrounding you kind of, I'm not going to say it intimidates, but it just makes it a little bit more challenging for someone who is interested in you to approach you, because now they got to go through all these linebackers just to get to you. So try, going out by yourself or, smiling whenever you are at the bar. Make yourself approachable. Your body language, instead of sitting like this, smile and talk and socialize and just have a good time. When it comes to dating events, I think the pressure of you having to meet someone is higher. Then you got to focus on how much it costs to attend this event. I think people are considering the fact of, if I don't meet anybody, that I done wasted money. I got to dress to impress. You got to do the most, basically. And it comes off like a transaction. So I feel like with the dating events, depending on what it is that you're looking for, it can work in your favor or it can work against you. Like Ty said, if you are intentionally dating, then yes, dating events is going to be right up your alley, because who else is attending dating events? Other people who are intentionally trying to date, at least for the most part. I can't say everybody there is looking for a relationship, but I think that it definitely increases your chances of meeting somebody at a dating event versus just being out and social, because you don't know who you're going to run into. They too might just have had a tough time at work and they're just trying to wind down and they got a whole wedding band on. Like, they're already taken. So I think that either way you look at it, if you are trying to intentionally date or you want to meet someone, you have to make yourself visible. The only way to make yourself visible is by getting out there. Like he said, put the boots to the ground and do the work. Change your environments. Don't always go to the same spot. Go somewhere else. Try something different. Step outside your norm. And either way, I feel like you will find success. And don't give up after the first try. Like I said, I'm not a fan of that one, but it kind of eased my mind. So it's like, Ty, I might be hitting you up like, girl, I'm about to go to this other matchmaking event, which I am, but it took off the pressure of not knowing what to expect.
Yeah. Great advice. Great. So in conclusion, before we wrap this up, just a couple of things to kind of wrap this up. Dating events are not for everybody. They're not great. They're not terrible. Just try it. There's nothing wrong with trying them. Men, this is a call to all men. Why not just try it? It's fine. You will live, you will not die. It's fine. And if you're not going to go to the dating events, then do me a favor. When you're out, You see a girl at the bar or whatever event, like the gentleman in the video said, catch her eye, then approach her. Because it's like we can't win for lose here. You know, you're not at dating events, but you're not approaching us at bars. Where are we gonna go? So just like make up your mind, pick one, and then just like go with it, right? And then the other thing is there are so many other avenues to meet people. There's dating apps, there's church place singles ministries, there's singles events, there are small communities that like running clubs and all of those things. Try them all, see what interests you. Don't stop doing one thing the first time you do it because it didn't work the first time. Sometimes you might need to do it 2-3 times. And then after a while, like Bree mentioned, switch it up, do something else. It's not one size fits all. You don't know when, where, or how you're going to meet that person. But one thing I know for sure, you're not going to meet them staying at home. So do something, whatever feels comfortable for you in the moment, but do something. That's all.
You mean to tell me I ain't gonna catch nobody being at home?
No, they would not ring your doorbell like some Amazon package. So yeah, just do it all. Do whatever feels good and natural to you. Show up confident. Show up looking your best self. And just have a positive thought. If nothing else, at least, you know, I agree with you. Don't roll in a pack, but like there's times you could go to a bar by yourself and just sit out the bar by yourself. That's a nice, easy way. Some people don't like going to bars by themselves. I definitely recommend once a month, do a solo date. So that's one thing. If you're going to do dating events, I definitely encourage you to bring a good girlfriend, bring a homeboy with you. At least it could be an experiment that you both can laugh at. You know what I mean? When you go, make it an event that you go with your friends. So it doesn't feel so lonely, so like I alone or I'm going to a singles event, so it doesn't have to feel that way. So bring one person with you to certain events. Go solo, sit at the bar. But if we're gonna like nix everything that's out there to help as a tool, then we're just gonna end up just staying home and everyone's gonna be sad. So yeah, so that's my advice. Keep dating, keep doing, it's rough out there, but you know what, we're all doing it together and let's have fun doing it. I just want people to have just a little bit fun, a little bit of a positive thought. It'll go a long way, and good energy when you go there. So definitely important. All right, y'all. Well, I want to hear about if you've gone to any singles events, whether it's a church event or just a speed dating event, whatever singles event you've been to. I would love to hear what happened. Tell us the tea. Tell us if you liked it, was it worth it, etc. We want to hear from you. I am Coach Ty, and this is Single and the Coach. I am the coach, and you can reach me on all social media platforms at Ty the Matchmaker. And yeah, keep watching. We're in this with you, and let us know in the chat, like I mentioned before, let us know what your thoughts are about this topic. We want to just hear from you and see if we all think the same thing, or maybe you have something different. Definitely want to hear from you.
I am your girl, Simply Bree, aka The Single, and this has been another great episode. Hopefully you guys obtain some type of clarification on what it is that you're doing and maybe you're not doing in order to improve your chances of finding that person. As Ty said, reach out, let us know what experiences have you guys had, whether it's with dating events or just going out and about into the playing field. What happened? Like, give us the details so that we can actually read your comments, read your situations out on the next episode. You can reach me across all social media at I am Simply Bree, and you can also catch me at IamSimplyBree.com. Reach out to me, let me know what you guys think about the show, Single and the Coach, and keep it locked. Make sure you're subscribing, turn on that notification bell so that you know when another episode has been uploaded. And if there is a topic that is true and dear to your heart that you would love for us to touch on, drop it down in the comments below, because we do read the comments, okay? We read the comments. You are not invisible. So with that being said, we thank you guys for your support. And like Ty said, If you have questions, listen, if you guys need a dating coach, reach out to her because she can definitely hook you guys up. Until next time, we will catch you guys later. Adios, amigos.
Bye, friends.
Bye.